We're back on the podcast, Wedge Live podcast, with Jonathan on. Can I say where you work professionally, or we have to keep that out of the show?
You can do that, yeah.
Jonathan works for Metro Transit, and none of the views expressed today reflect the positions of Metro Transit.
It does not.
This is just Jonathan speaking for himself. Welcome to the podcast.
Thanks for having me again. Yeah, good to be back.
So, how have you spent your open streets?
I started at 10:30. I volunteered for Hennepin for People booth, so I set up at 10:30-ish, and then I was at the booth talking to people about Hennepin Avenue projects till noon, and I've been doing back and forth labs.
Oh, your water.
Back and forth labs. This is my third lap 3 of Open Streets, and each time I make a lap, it's getting crazier, which is great.
You don't want to get the exciting footage.
We have a council member digging around in our tub.
Excuse me, so sorry.
Oh, sorry.
You're fine.
I was going to grab some stuff.
That's about very politically motivated, John. I'll just say.
I'm coming for you in 23.
How have you been?
I've been rolling around, trying to have interesting conversations, mostly failing because lots of interruptions.
You're too famous.
Not always me. I had a competition with Aisha about who's being recognized. Are they here for me or her? And so people will interrupt, and like the music is loud.
It is loud. Yeah.
And traffic jams, and you have to focus on driving.
Oh yeah.
This is a very similar experience to driving a car, I want to say. Like you don't want to hurt anyone.
I started calling it the Lindale State Fair. This is the Lindale State Fair.
It feels like distracted driving almost to be doing a podcast in this four-wheeled monstrosity. Wow. So we haven't heard anyone yet.
Not yet. So you had some cool guests so far.
We had Aisha.
Okay.
We had Minneapolis DFL Vice Chair Mike Norton.
Oh, Mike Norton, okay.
We had JD Duggan, journalist at Finance and Commerce.
Oh, wow, okay.
We had Alyssa Schuffman of the Bicycle Advisory Committee.
Love her, great, okay.
Who else have we had? A couple of randos I just picked up off the side of the road.
Okay.
Sergio.
Okay.
Was one of them I met. He's like, can we hang out? And we hung out for a little bit. So it's been interesting in that way. But again, I feel like I'm struggling to have interesting conversations.
Do you want me to bring up some interesting conversations, or do you want me to just answer your questions?
What is occurring to you right now, Jonathan, to talk about? What's a burning concern of yours?
Burning concern of mine? You always ask me really difficult questions in a really pleasant moment.
Have I stumped you?
You stumped me.
Your life is too good.
My life is too good.
Concerns.
I am really happy with my life. I haven't had this stableness in a while.
Yeah.
With my recent new job change and new house and whatever. So personally and professionally, I've been very happy.
Here's something that spurs something for me. Like personally and like socially. I feel like maybe I'm thriving. I feel like I have a lot of people in my life that I care about and they care about me. And I have my health. I don't have to worry about whether I'm going to have a home. Like, I feel like I'm in a good place. But
That's
also,
a great place to be in.
Also living in a city where it feels like things are not good and potentially we are not taking the steps to make them better. There's a dichotomy there.
Oh yeah. I think I still trying to stay optimistic, and I tend to be optimistic, and I think things will catch up. Like, that's how I feel about the state of the city every single day when I go to downtown.
You feel like we'll bounce back into some kind of equilibrium?
Yeah, I think so. That's how I feel about, again, the city when I go to downtown is there are a lot of still, closed or like inaccessible businesses from the street point of view, but at the same time as downtown adds population and there are more people coming back, and I think we're gonna catch up to it. I think we're on the right track.
Okay.
Yeah, not everything has to be perfect, but we're getting there.
A dose of optimism from Jonathan on.
Yeah, I think we're getting there.
How do you feel about the medians on Lindale? You probably have some very particular transportation thoughts You have any thoughts about the medians on Lindale?
I did notice some Lindale Avenue constructions to accommodate buses on Lindale. Route 4 is moving off of Bryant.
When is that happening?
Last time I heard is late June.
Okay.
Late June. Last time I
So
heard.
we'll have the 4-3 conversion on the northern part. At the same time, they're moving buses to stay on Lindale Avenue.
Yeah, instead of that divergent, the zigzag over to Bryant and back to Lindale. So I started noticing some bus pads being installed on some of the intersections on the southern side of the Lindale, and some medians. I don't know if you had a chance to drive all the way down to all the way at end of the open street, which is the 42nd Street.
No.
But yeah, they have some medians being installed. Love it. Love it. Love it.
More medians.
Yeah, more medians down there, more medians up here. It's great. I think it makes it much safer and more pleasant. Like, it's just slower traffic makes it more pleasant.
Can I ask you about Hennepin Avenue? Can we
Sure.
get into the bus lane thing?
Absolutely. I'll answer from my personal capacity as
Yeah.
far as I can.
It felt like the person from, so it felt like the chair of the Public Works Committee, Emily Koski, expected the Metro Transit rep to, the question was like, oh, I know you wrote this letter supporting the full-time lane, but here's a new letter, and it seems like now you support the dynamic lane, another word for part-time lane. And the Metro Transit rep did not give an answer matching what Koski seemed to expect. The answer was something like, and the content of the letter was, if this is the direction you're going to go, this is how we want to work with you moving forward. It wasn't an endorsement of the change. I feel like Metro Transit's position still, and you don't have to speak for them, is that they support the full-time lane. Like, there was no rejection of that prior commitment.
Yeah, my personal interpretation of that letter is more on, well, it is the city's decisions. Like, we are the beneficiary of the city's project. That should the city go that route, these are the accommodations that need to be made to ensure buses' reliability. Not necessarily that Metro Transit as an agency supports that dynamic bus lane idea. I think that's my interpretation. Yeah.
Are you optimistic we're going to get the full-time lane? Because it feels like the stars are aligned in terms of the entire Minneapolis legislative delegation, 15 members, is like, this is what we should do. We allocated all of this tens of millions of money for this project that we want to be successful. Metro Transit has said that full-time lanes are essential for the success of this project. And so there is every excuse, like if you needed an excuse to do the right thing, political cover, in other words, to do the right thing, it's there for you to take it. And it feels like we have a public works director and a council member in Ward 7 who just wants to fight it, and maybe a mayor who's not willing to go out on a limb for it.
Am I optimistic? Like, I am optimistic, but am I willing to place a bet on one or the other? Probably not.
Asking an "are you optimistic" question is probably a dumb question.
Not at all. Yeah, but I mean, this city public works change has been pretty rapid.
Hey, Paula. We are podcasting, but who am I to tell you can't interrupt? We've been interrupted all day.
Okay.
You want a button?
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
This is my sister Allie.
Hi, Allie.
Nice to meet you.
There's buttons.
Sorry. He coordinates hyper local neighborhood stores called Wedge. This is the Wedge neighborhood. And my sister Allie lives in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Oh, really?
Where there's actually very little transit infrastructure.
Wow.
Yeah, she's just lamenting. Every time I come home, I lament about where I'm at now.
That's great.
Jonathan, should I interview someone from Shreveport?
Absolutely,
Louisiana? Do you want to be on the podcast?
Well, yes.
Well, thanks for having me again.
Okay, Jonathan, I warned you that we would kick you out if we ever came upon a better guest.
Oh, Lord, I'm not a better guest.
No, you were better.
And plus, my questions were getting bad.
People are very
So a new person will spice things up.
Yeah.
Hook it on your collar.
Okay.